Hey, what's up, y'all? Are you ready for 2026? Is your business ready? Is your personal life ready? Are you ready, excited, motivated, inspired about 2026? In this video, we're going to work on some fundamentals to get us ready and get us excited for the new year. So if you're not quite ready yet, this video will help you to get ready. I call this the 2026 mindset reset. This is where we want to release what slowed us down in 2025. I don't know what kind of year that you had, but we want to be ready for 2026. We don't want to focus on what was and what could have been, but we want to focus on where we're going and what we need to do and where we need to be. Are you ready? 2026 is just around the corner at the time of recording this video. But before we get into 2026, we need to first look at 2025. Take a moment to evaluate 2025. And I encourage you to grab pen and paper, make some notes, grab your phone, whatever it is that you make notes in. Okay, so before we get into where we're going 2026, we want to talk about where we are now. We want to sort of take a little evaluation of how's this year been for you? Has it been a rough year for you? Has it been difficult? Maybe you want to put this in the comments, write that in the comment. The type of year that you had. Was it a good year? Was it a tricky year, a difficult year? Did you reach your goals? Were you successful? Did you surpass your revenue goals? Maybe you were beneath your revenue goals. Maybe you weren't even close. Let me know in the comments, what was your 2025 like? Maybe you had a lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs. A lot of people went through some stuff in 2025. I know I did for sure. But as I said off the top, we don't want to focus on the problems because, with every problem, there's a solution. We want to focus on the solutions. What do I have to do? What do I need to do in order to get where I want to go? You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving forward. Challenges will be there, but we want to keep moving forward. So you got your pen, you got your paper, you got your notes app on your phone. I want you to write down, what do you need to let go of in 2025? More specifically, what beliefs do you need to let go in 2025? I heard this quote that says, I let go of what stops me from moving forward and create space for better things to enter my life. That quote is by Marge Castiglione de Blasio. I let go of what stops me from moving forward and create space for better things to enter my life. So before we get into 2026, what our goals are for 2026, we want to take a look at 2025, right? And so the first question that I have for you is, what beliefs do you need to let go of from 2025? And maybe you've been carrying some beliefs from even years past, 24, 23, and onward. You want to be successful. You want to really have a good year. We need to let go of some stuff from the previous. We need to let go of things that are sabotaging us, whether it's mindset, whether it's people, whether it's things, whatever that is for you, you got to let it go. I'm going to give you some ideas, just some things to jog your thoughts, like the most common things. Maybe you say things like, I have to do everything by myself. Maybe that's what you say. Maybe that's how you feel, right? If that's been hindering your business growth, you got to let that go. Maybe you say, I need to be perfect before I launch. I got to get things right. I got to make sure it's perfect before I get to take the next step, before I actually take a step. If that's you, write that down. You got to let that go. Maybe you say things like, or you believe, people won't pay you higher. They won't pay you higher prices. They won't pay you what you're worth. If that's how you feel right now, you got to let it go. because you're not going to be able to succeed and charge more and charge what you're worth if that's the way that you're feeling. That's the kind of things that you're believing. This is what we call limiting beliefs, friends. Right? Maybe you say, I'm not ready yet. Maybe you say, I don't know enough. I can't be successful because I don't have a big audience. I don't have a big following on Instagram or YouTube, or I don't have a lot of people that's checking me out. So I'm not quite ready yet. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Maybe you say, and this is so common, in your sales process, you maybe say, I don't want to bother people by following up. So you don't follow up. You're not consistent with following up. So you're not closing your sales. You're not having consistent sales for your business. And that shows by the revenue or the lack thereof that you made here in 2025 and maybe even previous years. You don't like to follow up. You don't like to bother people. You feel that you're bothering people. You feel that you're bothering people. Maybe you say that. I want to write that down. The question we're answering is, what beliefs do you need to let go of? And maybe you say this: others are further ahead of me, so why should I try? You're comparing yourself to others. If you've been doing that in 2025, you got to let that go. You got to let it go. Release it. Let it go. Who cares if others are? This is not a race. You do you. You do the best for you. You do what you got to do, not what others are doing. And it's so common. Trust me. Every now and then I got to catch myself. I get into that little mode, comparing or looking at what others are doing. No. You got to stop. You got to take a hold of that and not allow that to be you, because that's going to sabotage you. It's going to mess you up. It's going to break your momentum if you're watching what others are doing. It's important to watch what others are doing, but not to the point where it gets you down, where it slows you down, where it allows you to fall off track. You got to stay on track, stay the course, keep that momentum going. So if that's you, write it down. Let's let that go. Maybe you say this: I'm not good at sales. So no wonder your sales are where they are, because you're thinking, you believe that you're not good at sales. You want to make more money in 2026? You got to get good at sales. Stop thinking that you're not good at sales. Stop saying to yourself that you're not good at sales. Stop believing that you're not good at sales, and start doing what you need to do in order to get good at sales. You see the difference? It's changing the mindset, reframing that thought process, letting it go. There's no excuses. Maybe you say, I have to hustle harder to grow. I got to hustle. If you have that kind of mindset, hustling, gotta let it go. Let me give you a few more. Maybe you say, I can't afford help. That's what you believe. That's what you tell yourself, right? You can't go any further. You haven't gone any further in this year, 2025, because you can't afford help. You want to get to the next level in 2026, you're going to need help. And you can and you will afford that help. You just have to know how. You can figure it out. With every problem, there's a solution. Maybe you say, I'm too late to the market. It's so saturated. Maybe you're in insurance, in real estate, mortgages. Maybe you're a contractor and you say, the market is so saturated. The competition is so huge. There's so many people doing what I'm doing. So that's why I haven't been successful. It's going to be difficult for me to be successful. It's going to be difficult for me to grow my business and to make the kind of money that I want to make. Again, these are things that you need to let go of right now in this moment, because that's the kind of thought process that limits your progress. And finally, maybe you say this: it's not working, so I probably should quit. Or maybe you have people in your life that's saying that to you. Man, it's not working. Why don't you just quit? There may be a time when you need to let go of something, but if you haven't done everything that you could possibly do. If you didn't get a coach, you didn't get a mentor, you didn't surround yourself with the right kind of people, you weren't actually consistently doing what you need to do. Your sales process was all over the place. Your lead generation process was all over the place. But now you're thinking of quitting. If you weren't doing what you're supposed to do consistently, how do you expect to get consistent results? What you put in is what you get out. And if you've been all over the place and you've been fragmented and you've been surrounding yourself with negative people or people who aren't where you're going or they don't understand what you're doing, and now you're thinking about quitting, how about we change all of that first and then see? After you've done all that you can, after you've been consistent, after you've got a coach and or a mentor, and you followed the principles, the framework, the strategies that you're given, and it still doesn't work, then, and maybe then, you can consider. So you want to do big things in 2026? You want to make 2026 better than 2025? These kind of things, we got to let it go. Leave it behind you. Put it down. Put it away. Don't take it with you into the new year. Don't take it with you at all. Leave it. Leave it right there. So those are the things that we need to let go of. But what about the things that we need to strengthen? What beliefs, this is the next question. What beliefs do you need to strengthen? Let me give you some examples. You want to say things like, I am capable of growing a successful business. The things that you say, how you speak to yourself. Here's another one. Maybe you want to change your vocabulary, your thought process to think, my skills, my experience, and story has value. My skills, my experience, I give value in everything I do, in my products and my services. I give value. Here's something else. Showing up consistently creates momentum. So, in other words, friends, these are like mantras, little things that you can say, affirmations, rewording your vocabulary, reframing your thought process, and start thinking and saying things differently so that you can have a different outcome, a better year in 26 than you did in 25. Maybe you want to write this down, put it on your mirror, say, it's okay to charge what I'm worth. I know my value, I know my worth, and that's what I'm going to charge. And I'm not going to be afraid to do so. Because in order to attract the clients that you want, your ideal customers, you have to know what you're worth. And when you charge it to the people who understand your worth, they'll pay. They'll buy your program. They'll pay for your services. They'll pay for your products because you understand your worth and you're attracting your ideal customer, your ideal client. Here's something else. Delegating helps me grow faster. Some of you need to delegate in order to have the results or get the results that you want in 2026. Maybe you got to delegate. Doing things by yourself is okay, but doing it with others is even better. Maybe you got to stop saying that you can figure stuff out and say, I can figure things out with the right guidance. I mentioned earlier, having a coach, having a mentor, having the right kind of people in your life. I can figure stuff out with the right guidance, with the right people in my life. I can grow without burning out. It means that you got to put systems into place. You have to do things differently. If you experience burnout this year, or if you've ever experienced burnout before, I know I have, doing things differently, delegating, getting help, creating systems, putting systems into place will help to prevent burnout. So maybe that's something that you got to do. That's something that you have to strengthen for 2026. And you want to say, maybe you say this: I can attract clients, customer. I don't have to chase them. I attract. You want to get your business to a point where you're no longer in hustle mode. You're attracting. You're not chasing clients. You're not chasing customers. You're attracting them. How many of you want to get there? If you want to start attracting customers and not chasing, type that in the comments. I'm committed to attracting customers this year. All right, so we talked about beliefs that we need to change in 2025. And then we also talked about the things that we need to strengthen for 2026. Things that we're saying and our thought process. But what habits do you need to change? What habits do you need to leave behind in 2025, not carrying them forward into 26? What habits? Let me just go through some very common examples. Maybe you're inconsistent in showing up online. You're not posting consistently, regularly to your social media platforms, here and there. I meet people all the time who, contractors especially, they start posting to Instagram when they're slow. So hopefully they drum up business. Barbers, people in the service industry, don't wait until you're slow. Don't wait until, it's a slower period. You should be consistently posting, consistently showing up, consistently being present. Consistency is the key to success and growth, right? Maybe you avoid follow up. If that's a habit that you have in 2025, you need to let go of that for 2026. That cannot be your 2026. Don't avoid the following up. It's important. And all you got to do is just to learn the strategies. And that's what you got Coach Mark here for, to learn strategies of how to follow up strategically following up so that you can close more sales, you can generate more leads, because you're not avoiding, you're attracting, and you're not chasing. There's strategic ways to do that. Maybe you say yes to everything. You're a yes sir or a yes ma'am. You're a yes person. You're saying yes to everything. What does that look like? That's, you find yourself getting overwhelmed, or your schedule is so busy and booked up. You don't have a break. You don't have a moment. You're constantly trying to catch up because you've been saying yes to too many things. You got to get to the place where you can say yes to the things that make sense for you. Maybe I'll do a video about that one day, because that's so common. That's so important. And it's one of those things that I had to learn myself. How to say no. That saying no is okay. It's okay to say no. There's nothing wrong with hearing no for yourself, but even for you to say no. There's nothing wrong with that. There's actually power in the word no. Did you know that? There's power in the word no. So if that is a habit that you've had, it's sabotaging your growth. It is sabotaged, and maybe it's continuing to sabotage your growth. You want to let it go for 2026. You don't want to be saying yes to everything. Working without a plan. Working without a plan. You don't have a plan. You don't have a structure, a framework, a guide, a map, if you will, to get from point A to point B. The GPS, when you turn on your GPS in your car, right? Where you are now, wherever you are now, and then where you're going. And then it gives you the roadmap. It tells you, and you can even have options where, you can pay tolls or give you a route where there's no tolls, right? And it gives you 3 or 4 options. You gotta have a plan. Not just setting goals. Setting goals is one thing. There's a quote that I once heard. It says, A goal without a plan is just a wish. Have you ever heard that one? A goal without a plan is just a wish. So you gotta have goals, but then you also have to have a plan that is aligned with the goal that you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So if that's a habit, you never make plans. You never put plans down in place. You never write anything down. You just got everything up in your head. Or maybe you're not really thinking through. You're living day by day, just at the, fly by night as they call it. Let's change that habit and let's start working with a plan. Trying to do everything alone, if that's you, if that's a habit that you have, you just try to figure stuff out on your own. Let's try to change that for 2026 so that we can have different results. Maybe you overthink instead of executing. You're sitting there thinking about how you're going to launch. You're thinking about every single step. You're thinking about all the things that can go wrong with your business, with your sales plan, with your lead generation process, with the launch of a new product or service. You're thinking about all the things that can go wrong or every single step. You're overthinking. If that's you, that has been you, and you want to see greater things in 2026, let's get to the place where we're not overthinking. We're not stressing. We're not looking at every single step. It's important to have a plan. I just said it. But we don't want to sit there and focus so much on every nitty gritty and every aspect of that plan and not actually do anything and not actually execute. Execution, there is power in execution, not power. There's no power in sitting there and overthinking a plan, right? So if that's a habit that you have, you're in 2025, you want to change that in 2026. Maybe you avoid uncomfortable tasks. Maybe you have poor boundaries with time. Maybe you are neglecting personal development. Those habits, let's try to break that. Let's try to change that. All right, so we talked about the beliefs that we need to let go of. We talked about the things that we need to strengthen. And then we also talked about the habits that we need to change. Now, I'm going to give you 5 areas for you to focus on as you are building your 2026 roadmap. All right, here we go. The first one is your revenue goal. What is your revenue goal for 2026? Write it down. Don't have it in your head. Don't pick a number out of the hat. Just pull a number out of the air or from somewhere. Make that goal. All goals are supposed to be realistic. The next area for you to focus on is your lifestyle goal. What do you want your life to look like in 2026? Do you want to spend more time with your family, with your children, your spouse? Do you want to get married? Do you want to focus on getting into a relationship if you're not in one? Do you want to spend more work-life balance? Do you want to travel more? I mean, that's different for everyone, right? Write down your lifestyle goal for 2026. What do you want your life to look like throughout the year? So, your revenue goal, and secondly, your lifestyle goal. Now, the third thing you want to focus on is your business system goal. This is the system. What does your business look like? Like, what systems are you going to put into place in order to reach your revenue goal, your quarterly goals, your marketing goals, your lifestyle goals? All of these goals interconnect. Everything that you do must connect one with the other. They must be in alignment with each other. So what's your business system? What systems do you need to put into place? Systems that you don't have right now, or maybe systems that you do have and you have to improve those systems. Your business will grow and be successful on systems. Successful businesses are built on systems. We look at McDonald's, Tim Hortons, any of these chains that you support, that you buy from, Amazon. Walmart, all of them. There are systems put into place. So you want your business to grow, you want your business to get to the next level in 2026, make sure you're putting systems into place. So take some time and think about, what does that look like? What does your business system goals look like for 2026? The fourth is your visibility or your marketing goal. How do you plan to get your business out there? How do you plan to build your personal brand, to increase or improve your personal brand? What does that look like? That visibility goal. How are you going to get in front of more customers in 2026? How are you going to, both online and offline, attract your ideal clients? What's your marketing goal? Finally, last but not least, your support team goal. What supports do you need to put into place for 2026 in order to be successful? Do you need to get a coach or a mentor? Do you need to get family involved with your goals that you're trying to achieve in order to get their support, their buy-in, so that they can encourage you, motivate you, support you in their own ways, even down to your children? How can your children support you in what you're doing in order to reach your goal, besides doing their homework and going to school and all that kind of stuff? How can your children support you? Maybe you may say, hey guys, like, I need you to get more involved with chores, emptying the dishwasher, taking out the garbage. I don't know, whatever that looks like for you. What kind of supports do you need to put into place in order to have the systems, the visibility, the business growth, the revenue goals, the lifestyle that you're looking for in 2026? What do you have to put into place? Do you need to get a virtual assistant, administrational help? Here's one tip. If you're not already maximizing or utilizing AI, you should be doing that. That's a really good support. Utilizing AI to help you with your productivity, to help you with ideas and thoughts and all of that, right? So what supports do you need to put into place? Do you need to hire more people? Do you need to let go of certain people? What supports do you need to put into place in order to get your business to the next level in 2026? All right, so let me recap that. There's your revenue goal, your lifestyle goals, your marketing goals, your business systems goal. What systems are you putting into place? And your support team goals. I hope you got lots of value from this conversation. You're excited, you're motivated, you're empowered, looking forward to 2026, to have an amazing 2026. Friends, it's up to you. Based on everything we talked about in this conversation today, it is up to you to implement for your futures in order for you to reach and exceed your goals. No one can do it but you. It's your business, it's your life, it's your dreams. And so it's up to you to do what you need to do, the sacrifices that you need to make, the things that you need to adjust and to change in order to make these things happen for yourself. Put yourselves in the right rooms this year, connect with the right kind of people, have the right kind of mindset, do the things that you need to do, the things that will make you uncomfortable. In order to get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable. You often hear me say this: connect, collaborate, and contribute. 2026 can and will be a better year than 25 if you do what you need to do in order to make that happen. It's up to you, friends. Do me a favor. Put in the comments what you are committing to for your business to grow your business in 2026. What are the things that you're letting go of? And what is it that you are going to start doing differently? Let me know in the comments. What mindset shifts, what thoughts, what behaviors, what limiting beliefs are you letting go of, and what are you committing to do in 2026? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue this conversation and let's hold each other accountable. I want to hold you accountable. Can you do that? Do that for me. I want to hold you accountable. And the other thing is, if you can like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to help me to grow this. My goal is to grow my brand in 2026 and to help as many people as I possibly can. So please like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone. And I'll see you in the next conversation. You got this.